Unfortunately, there was also a culture, especially on the Sunday Mirror, was a culture of making stories up. It was a vibrant, lively, exceedingly competitive, fun place to be, Fleet Street, in those days. People were fighting for circulation. They were, the papers were at each other's throats. The journalists were all friends. They'd drink together, but then when it came to doing a story, if you had an exclusive line, you weren't going to share it with anybody. You did it for yourself, and then had a little giggle with them afterwards in the pub when you'd stiffed them. But it was good. It was good fun in those days. Unfortunately, there was also a culture, especially on the Sunday Mirror, something which I never did, was a culture of making stories up. No, not made up stories. The story was always there, but they'd make up quotes, they'd make up interviews. When I was on the Sunday Mirror, as a reporter was being sent out to do an interview, stand up a story or whatever, and they couldn't get the interview, but then just made it up. And I was aware of that because I was with journalists. It was a two-hander, and you'd go out with somebody on a job, and you'd knock the door, and the person would answer the door, and they would say adamantly, "I don't want to talk to you, leave me alone." And then this reporter that I was with on one occasion went straight to a phone and rang the office and said, "I got a full and frank interview." It was embarrassing. There was a lot of that, and I think that damaged the reputation of tabloid newspapers no end. For a period of 4 or 5 months, I was actually freelancing in Manchester. And so I was getting stories and punting them to the Mail on Sunday, People, the Mail, Sun, Sunday Mirror, yes. Well, Glenn then, he had to earn a living. So he continued working for the News of the World, for the new regime at the News of the World. And I did a deal with him to do some work for Mercury as well. He would carry on doing what he was doing for the news, for me at the News of the World. My role at Mercury was to find exclusive stories to sell to daily newspapers or Sunday newspapers. Also, we were commissioned by newspapers to do work. Sometimes the news editors would ring up and say, "I'm desperate. Have you got anything?" And so we'd, have a trawl around, see if we could find something for them. Well, the Sunday Mirror also took information which they would have known would have been hacked. There were reporters there who worked on the News of the World before they were poached by the Sunday Mirror, who knew what was happening, that phones were being, as we say, turned round. And if there was a tape recording of a voicemail, then you guarantee you know that it's been hacked.